Dairy.
Look how we made it this far. Haven't we made it, my love? Oh, honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been a lot bit, honey? Take a look at where we are. You, I owe it to you. I owe it to you.
Hey, what do you call like the crusty things in your eyes when you're sleepy? You call them eye boogers?
No, I call them sleepies.
Sleepies. I think that's what Corinne calls them too. I guess it's more
You got some
nasty, but I
sleepy.
call them
You got some sleepies
eye
in your
boogers.
eyes.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
gross.
it was a rough night. I'm not gonna lie. It was probably the worst night as a father. The kids got some molars coming in, and he was not thrilled about that. And yeah, I think I got under an hour of sleep, but that's life.
Well, by looking at you, you'd never know it. You look sharp.
You
You
know.
look clean. You look fresh. Oh, not always sleepies. Maybe crusties.
Crusties? Either way. So I had a couple of those, but I think I got them out though.
You got them out.
Yeah.
You look sharp. You have a collar shirt on, and you even have it buttoned up to the mid button, which is impressive.
So so 3 buttons on this shirt. What would you do?
3 buttons on the shirt. I usually would probably go 1 button.
You want 1 button open? Well, that's where I'm at.
Well,
That's where I'm at.
no. I'd go 1 button.
Oh, okay. So you would have the second one out. You want the taco meat out a little bit more here. Okay.
A little bit, just a
little bit. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah. See, now you look like okay. Like I'm here to podcast, but I'm also maybe here to party.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
You guys did it, Adam. You did it.
We did it. We got some help. Let's go.
It all fell into place. You did it.
Yeah. So I guess, granted, we did have a fill-in, which is very tough to do late in the season, but we had a little mini choke. We had kind of controlled our own destiny in Las Vegas, and then the Miami Pickleball Club one-upped us and did not get it done when they needed to, and we are officially promoted, and we don't have to go to Dallas, so I don't have to be gone for almost 2 weeks, considering that's piggybacked with the Nationals there. So pretty happy with everything.
So okay. So the first round is in Dallas. Is that right? And then
Correct. It's
and then where's the rest of it?
It'll be in Orlando, which Orlando the 22nd through the 24th. And then the one that is about to happen is the weekend right before Nationals, and I believe Nationals starts Monday or Tuesday. So
Are you going to Nationals?
I am going to Nationals to commentate. Yes.
Okay, nice.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Florida. I'm home.
Home. Good.
Was Dallas, was Vegas, was Coeur d'Alene, was Newport, was now here.
Yeah, that's why we missed last week. You were doing a little shoot, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in Coeur d'Alene doing Selkirk shoot, doing it for new clothing line, which is, I mean, the clothes are sick. Maybe some of you saw my story, but I was wearing a sick honey mustard outfit.
Mustard.
Head to toe. It was.
Wow.
I looked like Winnie the Pooh, to be honest. But like tan hoodie, tan sweatpants, tan shirts, tan shoes. The shoes are nice, by the way. They got a bunch of different colorways. They got tan, all blacks are what I like. They look sick. Ooh. All whites. Selkirk socks.
Send it to me, baby. Send it to me, somebody.
It's all dope. It's really nice stuff. So the new apparel coming out is really sick. 007 did a shoot for the 007. So you got the 10 millimeter, the 14 millimeter. I've opted to play with the 14 millimeter epic shape, which is not the Invicta, which is kind of the longer paddle that most everybody plays with. It's a little bit of a shorter, wider. Okay. I just like the maneuverability at the in the hands battles with it. So it's
I'm a short wide guy.
Yeah,
For my paddles and my body, short wide is what it's all about. Yeah. I've never been a long paddle guy.
Yeah. So Paddle feels nice though. It's got a new grit technology that's meant to stay much longer, and it's I tested a bunch of other stuff that I can't talk about too.
Oh, secrets.
There's some very, very exciting stuff coming in the pipeline, paddle wise with Selkirk, and it's going to get really ramped up in 25. So
good.
Yeah,
Love to hear that. I'm not quite on the cutting edge now that I'm no longer a player, so I love to hear that. The clothes were already good in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love my Selkirk stuff. So nice new line. And do they still have the women's, the Ava Lee? That I know the Brashes did a commercial, or they were kind of the ladies for that one. So
no,
let's go.
It's not an Ava Lee line, but they have the women's apparel looks awesome too. They've got all kinds of stuff, and Stratman was there. Udit was there, so it was nice to see them, catch up with them since I haven't seen either of them in a while. Since not playing MLP or PPA.
I mean, it's wild how that happens. Like, I mean, you're just seeing people constantly, and then you just don't see them anymore. And I've been in that situation before too. It is kind of weird, and you're like, oh, hey, what's up? I used to hang out with you all the time, no longer. So.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was a good couple of days in Coeur d'Alene. Also did instructional videos, which you guys will be able to check out hopefully soon on Selkirk TV. It's I did 2 courses of 10 videos each. Had some nice players up there help me out. So I played some with Tyson when I was up there. Drilled some with Tyson, which was fun.
The crime dog.
The crime dog. He was up there before he went to Miami. I saw that I don't think they made the playoffs, right? They just missed out.
They did not. So there was a lot of exciting stuff going on in Challenger, a little less so in Premier. So there was some slight shuffling between the 3rd and the 6th seed, but like a team actually making it in that wasn't supposed to, all that it kind of already played out, and that's just how it goes when you have 23 regular season matches. There's going to be some down to the wire stuff and some stuff that's already decided. So, so how's the Crime Dogs complex looking? Does he have a nice little setup up there?
We played just a new facility up there, which was actually really nice. It was Peak Pickleball, Peak Health and Fitness. They have, but they have like cold plunge, sauna, 8 indoor, 8 outdoor. It's like been open for 2 months. It's super nice, but he's working on building a compound.
On a compound. Well, he needs
ideally,
to. He's a compound guy.
He's a compound guy. Like get some courts out there behind his, in his backyard. Have the full setup of the pod. Like what you need to do, Adam. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
What's level that backyard.
What's your duper? I love a nice crime dog commercial as well. So that and I like in that duper commercial. He had the full-on mullet, so that's it hasn't quite been there lately, and I think it's a little sad. So maybe he'll bring that back in the cold winter months. We'll have to see. Robert, you had a tournament in Newport Beach. What was the?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. No. Okay.
No,
I apologize.
It was it was supposed to be a tournament, and then it just turned out to me just Newport didn't happen.
Newport didn't happen. Oh, I've been there many times. But
the issue is there's not a tournament next week to we talked about this. You know what I mean?
Instant redemption is not an option.
The instant redemption's not there, which really pisses me off. Because then I have to just sit. I just have to sit with it for a while, which I don't like.
It hurts. I know the feeling, and I know it very, very well. So I apologize for that lack of opportunity to redeem yourself.
Well, I'm considering going to China and then Vietnam for this PWR. There's a couple tournaments, and then there's this PWR India League draft coming up in December for the league that's happening in January. It's almost November. That's crazy. It's coming down to the wire. But APP tournaments are done. There's no more this year.
Really?
Done.
No mas.
Done.
No mas.
They canceled Boca, which was supposed to be mid-November, I believe, or early November, and then they canceled the Fort, which was supposed to be mid-December. So I'm playing nationals in Mesa, which is the 14th, 15th, 16th weekend of November, and
Mm-hmm.
then considering going to Hawaii for a week to do some clinics as kind
Okay.
of like kind of a stopping point on my way to China, Vietnam to play a couple tournaments.
Oh, just a
And then
little
who knows,
pass by Hawaii on the way to
maybe a little
China.
vacation in Bali after that. We've got a couple friends that are opening a facility called they have a paddle brand and stuff. They're creating a brand. They sponsor players called Pickleball, which is what a dope name,
Ah,
right?
what a
Yeah.
dope name. Hey, so AKA you have boots on the ground in Bali.
Boots on the
So
ground in Bali. And you actually know them, Adam, because you've met Mila and TJ
have I?
in Costa
Mila
Rica.
and
Yep.
oh yeah, I did. I
Hmm.
did. That's
So they
right.
moved.
That's
They moved to
right.
Bali. They moved to Bali, and they got that. So when we saw them in Costa Rica, they knew nothing about pickleball. But remember, they would go out like on those courts at what was it, Punta
Yes.
Islita? They would go. That was their first time ever playing, and now TJ is probably like I don't know what his rating is, but probably like a 4.550. Like
Good.
he's gotten pretty good,
Is it?
and
Is this the trip where
and
we got COVID and gave it to everyone? Yeah,
correct,
yeah, correct. Okay, go ahead. Four
correct.
five five zero. So TJ's doing it, huh? That's legit.
Yeah, his brothers as well. I think they're playing. They're playing a lot. But yeah, they're opening a facility in Bali. Apparently, they say Padel absolutely crushes. There's like 5 or 6 facilities that are booked from morning to night. Like it's
Oh yeah,
huge.
that's fun,
So
man.
there's
It's
there's
fun.
not a lot of pickle. So they're going to open pickle, try to make it like a little bit like a day spa type situation where they've got healthy fruit juices and smoothies, like just like Bali vibe,
Volleyball.
So might go there and check that out in December after
And
after
and
China
and
and
a
Vietnam and
fun fact, Robert, you're gonna stop by Hawaii, which actually is your old stomping grounds.
old stomping grounds.
You
Yep,
live there.
boots on the ground there too. Boots
How
on
long
the
did you live
ground.
there for?
I was there for a year,
Oh,
so I
good.
was there for the entire year of 2022.
That's
So
um Robert, well, since there was not a tournament in Newport Beach, did you get any info or any vibe on the PWR in India that was happening? I saw some smoke machine and some sparks and some stuff going on
oh,
over there. What was the
there's gonna
vibe?
be some
Did you?
smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta have
I
it.
talked to some people. I mean, shout out to Armand. Armand Bhatia. I think triple crown. He got the singles, doubles, and mixed titles. Um, he got mixed with, I believe, Roos, who is, I think she lives in Australia, but I played her in England and was very impressed. She has a good like backhand flick. She has very fast hands. Like she's good. Um, Very impressed with her. He played men's with Harsh, who he always plays with. Harsh is very good. Do not speed up to his backhand. Table tennis background, very
uh,
fast hands, especially on that. He's a lefty, sits on the backhand,
mm,
heavy, and just really, yeah, really fast hands if you go there. So, and singles, and he's using that Yola. That thing's, and there's no paddle testing. So, go to
mm,
town, go
go
eat.
to town, go eat. I believe
Yep.
the only person that I saw over there that I knew or was had seen play before from the States was Casey Diamond. Was there any
Mm.
other Americans over there?
Yeah, I know Eric Forsyth went.
Okay, yeah,
New
yeah,
York,
yeah.
New York. Yep. Um, I'm actually planning on playing China with him if
Oh, oh,
if I can line all this up.
yeah.
Eric's the man, dude. He's been playing. He's been playing a while in New York. Teaches pickle. Just such a good dude. And who else was over there? Alex Hunt. I think played with Casey Diamond, which I don't know how they did, but I imagine not very well.
Yeah, I
I
guess so. But
guess.
yeah, I don't know Eric well, but the experience I've had with him, he seems like he's very cool. So
Yeah, he's the man.
definitely
Uh,
on it with that and make that happen in China. Do it.
Yep. Yep. They listed PWR for the league. They listed I think top 24 men and women that are up for the draft. So obviously 12 will get picked. We had Tardio on that list, which I found surprising. So Gabe Tardio's name was on that list, along with you had obviously like kind of the top APP guys. You had Jack Monroe on there. You had Will Howells on there. Who else? You had obviously Armand and Harsh, the Indian guys. You had some Australian guys, Mitch Hargraves, Joey Wild, I believe. Yeah, so I mean, 12 will get picked out of the 24 on the men's side and the women's side. On the women's side, you had Susanna Barr, Megan Fudd, Jill Braverman. So the top APP women as well. So look, it's good opportunities for those that aren't in an exclusive deal in the States to go international and earn some cash.
So Tardio, huh? So that means
Tardio,
that if
though,
he's
how's that?
if he's on that list, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was shocked. I wasn't shocked because I talked to Pran and he mentioned that Tardio's name was on there, but because he submitted an expression, like a letter of interest or something. But if he's under contract, I don't know how that's going to happen.
The bulletproof Bolivian, he's just doing his thing everywhere. The guy's hot right now. He's like
screw it. Yeah, you can't. No contract's going to hold me back.
I'm Tardio, baby. Let's go.
I'm Tardio.
Prime of his life, 19 years old, just doing his thing. Good for him. Yeah. Actually, I was wondering. This is about the time of year where people start kind of talking to each other about 2025 stuff. So I'm wondering what kind of partnerships are going to break up, what ones are going to stay the same, and all that good stuff. And I'm sure that we will be able to shine some light on that in the next month or two. But it's always interesting with the partnerships, and how long do you set it up beforehand? Do you kind of mix and match and wait a little bit longer? So we'll have to see.
Yeah, and on the PWR side and the APP side, so the next APP is January 15th, and that's at the Fort. That's the same time as this PWR, which you have a lot of the top APP players going over there for that. So it's going to really it's going to really open up that Fort tournament to be anyone's ball game, because the top players won't be there.
Yeah, well, I wonder why they did that.
Yeah, APP. I mean, some of the decisions that they're making are interesting. Canceling the last two tournaments of the years, obviously very tough on the players. I mean, that's how we're earning money. So
right.
We lose income from those two canceled events. They were supposed to be at the beginning of the year when a lot of the contract talks were taking place in terms of, sign with PPA or don't sign, or buyout or don't buy out, all of that stuff. The APP said, I think there's even an announcement or an article on their website that talked about, a team format being announced. And then they canceled the team event because they had, Andre, and they had people that couldn't play a competing team event, so they changed it to a shuffle.
Right. I remember that. And
then there were supposed to be 4 team events on the year, which obviously changed. And they were like, okay, well, we'll do shuffle instead of team, and we'll have 4 shuffle events, which I think was an extra, it was a large amount of money, $500K or something like that. So you earned quite a bit extra. And they only had one team event or one shuffle event this year.
Right.
So they canceled in New York. So they canceled basically 3 shuffles, I believe. I was told there was supposed to be 4 events, and then they canceled the last 2 tournaments of the year. So it's APP. I don't know how it's looking.
That's chunky, man. That's
real chunky.
I mean, you talked about the schedule. Like, that's a decent percentage, especially if players are counting on some form of income from that. I mean, I know it's prize money, but that's unfortunate. But it's quite how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It's how it crumbles.
How it crumbles.
So we'll see. We'll see what APP does next year in terms of making up those events and see if players are. I think me personally, I'm going to follow the money. So like if there's more money to be made in international events, I'll probably do that.
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, you're a professional pickleball player.
That's correct, Adam.
That's correct. So, I mean, I totally get it. And even, also, I mean, I mentioned the stuff about the partnerships and we'll see how they fall in place, but it's the same thing with PPA and MLP. What kind of schedule are we going to get? Is there going to be MLPs throughout? Are we just going to have like a 3 or 4 month summer action with the MLP? What kind of PPA action? I have no idea. So I think there's no
announcements on that set yet.
The PPA has put some like January, February tournaments. I don't know if those are set in stone or that's just tentative. But I haven't heard anything in terms of MLP. Yeah, and also with the promotion, 4 of the 10 in Challenge are going to Premier. What's going to happen with those 6 teams? Are they just going to put everybody in there? Are they going to have a challenger kind of situation with only 6 teams? I have no idea. So they're November and December are going to say a lot about what 2025 looks like, of course, but especially with just almost all the entities not knowing exactly what they're going to do. So we'll have to see.
Interesting. And PPA's got, I mean, there's still a few events left, right? You have Worlds, I suppose.
Right.
And then you have Milwaukee, and then you have Daytona.
Yeah, and they squeezed one in right before Christmas. And I think that there's another, actually, you know what? I have it pulled up here. Let's see here. Yeah, there's the CIBC PPA finals, which is kind of that point system where you get the top 8 in singles, top 16 in the genders. And so they have that in December and the Daytona in December. And then there's this Vulcan Orlando Cup. And maybe I'm wrong. That's been there for a while, but I think it's new. No, that's PPA. That's at the end of November. I think that might be new. That's after the Milwaukee and the Worlds. So, I just, I probably should know that considering it's my schedule, but I feel like they just squeezed that one in. So,
well, it's interesting. I talked to, a couple PPA players, and it's, they're very conscious of like how many events or how many tournaments they have to play on the year based on their contract. And they're very conscious of, the ones I talk to, of not going over that amount because they're essentially playing for free. You know what I mean? It's
right. Yeah, sure.
Your salary is for, call it 20 events. So if you play 21, 22, you're not getting paid additional for those. So they're just not.
You want to hit it. Right? You want to hit it right on the nose. Yeah. You don't want to go under. You don't want to go over. So, and I know that there's literally like 3 or 4 different types of contracts. So I think it's different for everyone, whether it's days, events, all that stuff. So everyone has their own thing that they're worried about. But I would imagine, especially with, some of the, there's a little strain on the athletes on the PPA side with the PPAs and the MLP. So I would imagine that not many, if any, are going to go over their number, given how grueling the schedule is. So
it's a long year. Yeah.
Dude, it's a long year for sure.
A lot of pickle.
We talk about this stuff all the time. No easy matches anymore. Always grinding through qualifiers. You're playing tough matches throughout. If you're running deep, that is wear and tear on the body. A lot of starting and stopping. A lot of things of this nature. Couple injuries have ticked up, and it's. It's a smaller court, but it's not easy on the body. You got to do a lot of bending, a lot of lunging, and a lot of that stuff. So it affects everything.
Yeah. But when you have glutes like yours, Adam.
Ooh, I was kind of setting that up. I was hoping you were going to go somewhere with that, and I'm glad you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glutes. I would imagine little baby AJ is going to have, he's going to have some solid.
Oh yeah.
Solid glutes with
the jeans are solid.
There. Yeah, exactly. Let's. yeah, there's some other gene factors, especially on my side, that let's hope he does not have. But glutes are there. Glutes are there, Robert. Glutes are there.
The hand-eye is going to be there.
Hand-eye, yeah.
I mean,
He's
the hand-eye is there.
He's already pretty sharp with it. So
is he already ripping? Is he already chipping around the green? Just
he's got a little golf set, and he's got a ping pong paddle, and he has a pickleball paddle that his percentage of making contact is pretty high. So not hitting anything out of the air yet. We got to work on the tracking of the ball a little bit. You can kind of throw it at him, and he doesn't know what's going on. But if it's sitting there and he's got a paddle, he hits it pretty well.
That sounds like a golfer to me.
Sounds like a golf. I mean,
which is a better. It's a better path.
Yes,
it's a better path.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a better.
I mean,
path.
you can kind of if you do actually make it in golf, it's
you're fine.
Smooth on the body.
Yeah.
You can kind of pick some events to play and this and that. Get a nice little college scholarship, all that good stuff. I am not against golf at all. A nice, good, strong mental game is necessary for that too. That helps you in life, Rob. It does.
It does. And you're less dependent on, let's say little AJ does get some of your genes. You're less dependent on like your physical attributes in golf.
That's right. Yeah, maybe that's where I should have gone.
I don't know if you know this, but I haven't checked a bag since probably 2005. So I'm going on 20 years of no check bags. I only carry on. And what's made that really easy for me over the past couple years are Selkirk backpacks. Because little do people know, you get a personal item to carry on most carriers, and both items are big backpacks. I carry them on. I fill both of them to the brim. And they both count as carry-on, so I don't have to check a bag. It's important.
No, I'm right there with you. And see that's the big boy. And I am past my playing days, so I do one big boy and one little smaller fella here that I can take with me from the hotel to the venue every single day. Leave the big boy there. Don't check bags. Get yourself some Selkirk gear. Small, medium, big, you need it.
I don't have the small. I need the small. Somebody send me the small. But yeah, you're right, because
small.
I can put my little laptop and I don't have to take the big one. It's important. Selkirk, send me a small. I'll buy it.
Hey, let's actually just I got a little pull up here. We'll just run through this playoff scenario real quick for Premier and Challenger. Because it is a bit confusing. So we have the New Jersey Fives and the St. Louis Shock that were able to capture those 1 and 2 seeds. And that is they earn a bye into the semifinals, the Final Four, and they get to select their opponent, the New Jersey Fives, because they're the number 1 seed. So that is kind of one of the new things. And you also have the react to mixed doubles. You can react to the Dream Breaker. You can pick your side, and you can serve or receive. And the higher seed gets to pick all of those things. So you get that, and you get to pick your opponent. So I really like what they did. And I mean, 23 regular season matches. You need to be rewarded for having success in the regular season. Oh, come on over, kid. Bring it over. We got 10 seconds on camera, Bubba. Say hi to Rob.
We were just talking about your glutes.
Rob. We were just talking about your glutes, and they're going to be great. Oh, that's sweet baby AJ. There he is. A to the J, J, J. A, J, A, J, A to the J, J, J. Ooh. Oh, he's grabbing pins. All right, you got 3 seconds left. Do something special, AJ. Yay, there he goes. What an appearance.
He's like, Mom, help me. Mom, get me.
Yeah, Mom. That's
Mom.
Exactly what that is. It's like, all right, yeah. I wanted to come to Dad, but I'm done with him. So, he's grabbing things.
He doesn't even realize he's going to be a superstar. He's on YouTube worldwide. He's a worldwide global superstar, this little guy.
That's right. Yeah, and he gets decent when I'm there at the tournaments. There is a lot of
he gets some ladies
40 to 65-year-old women that are very into AJ. So
yep,
he has his demographic of people that enjoy seeing him on the pod. So good for you, little baby AJ. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, so the
Rewarded for buys. Rewarded for top
rewarded
two.
for buys. And so the third through the sixth, 6 teams make the playoffs. Like I said, two buys are rewarded, and then those 3 through the 6 seeds will play in that event in Dallas right before Nationals. The number 3 seed is the Dallas Flash, and they will also get to select their quarterfinal opponent. We have the DC Pickleball team, the Texas Ranchers, and the New York Hustlers. So having that, of course, having the bye is fantastic, but having the 3 seed is a really big deal also, because you do get to select your opponent, and we know in pickleball matchups are everything, Robert. Challenger level? Oh, go ahead, please.
I like the select your opponent thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like if a team's selecting to play, call it my team, like, man, talk about like bulletin board material. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in football, you're
Yes.
like that week leading up, it's like, this team talks about you, and then it's like that's all you talk about just to get motivated and fired up. If a team's selecting to pick you, if a team's selecting to play you because they think they have the matchups, that's such good motivation to come out and be like, we're going to come light you up. So
right.
I like that.
Agree.
And I don't think it's actually that big of an advantage, because I think you're going to have a really fired up opponent.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, I mean, that's just sitting in your brain for, maybe not that long given the schedule, but for, a week or two. And yeah, I mean, extra motivation. I mean, these guys are.
Yeah, so especially at that time of year when everybody's pretty exhausted, they might be like, okay, looking for the holiday break to slow down, take time off. Like where motivation might be lacking a little bit, even though it's the playoffs. If a team selects you because they think they're going to beat you, it's a good little fire to pursue.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. I mean, these guys and gals are professionals. They're out here in MLP playoffs, so there's something in there regardless. But you don't want to add any extra stuff to it. And yeah, I think that actually played some form of role in the Miami Pickleball Club playing the Florida Smash. The Florida Smash had nothing to play for. They're eliminated, but Travis Rettenmeyer was talking crap to Johnny Goldberg, who is the GM of the Miami Pickleball Club. So you don't really want to, like, there's some players you do want to talk crap to because they might crumble. I do not believe Travis Rettenmeyer is one of those. He's going to thrive on that situation. So you don't want to give anyone extra motivation. You see it maybe in football before the Super Bowl, somebody on media day like says this guy's trash or this guy's garbage, or you hear the stories about Michael Jordan, hearing a quote in the newspaper from 2 years before, and then he wants to destroy the guy when he gets on court with them. So don't give these good players and these athletes any extra motivation. So I think picking your opponent is definitely something that fits into that.
What are the possibilities? So you said you have Dallas at the 3 seed in the Premier?
Yeah, right. So they will they will get to pick between the 4, 5, and the 6 seed, whoever they want to. That's
they could pick any of those, not just the 5 or 6.
Yeah, of their quarterfinal opponent. They get to pick them. So, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and that's the Dallas Flash, which is HTB, Hurricane Tyra Black, Augie Guh, and the Johnsons, meaning Georgia and JW, not Yates and Hunter. So. That's a good team, and when you get to pick your opponent, they can get the matchups that they want. So the Challenger playoffs, so it's the SoCal Hard 8s, my squad, and the Chicago Slice that earned the 1 and the 2 seeds. Miami had a rough go of it. So going into the final day of competition, they had the tiebreaker against us. So all they needed to do is get 2 points in 2 matches, and you get 1 point for losing a Dream Breaker, 2 points for winning a Dream Breaker, and 3 for winning in regulation. So the Frisco Pandas is who they played first, and Frisco had to win in regulation to pass the Bay Area Breakers to get into the playoffs, and they were able to get it done 3-1 against Miami. So Miami got 0 points there, and then they played the Florida Smash and also lost in regulation. So Miami out of that top 2 spot, but they do earn the 3 seed, which they will get to pick their opponent in those quarterfinals. So lots of action, and congratulations to the Frisco Pandas, which is Eva Rashakovska, Tammy Emmerich, Stefan Avern, and Michael Lloyd, who was a pickup for John Sincola. And they played well. And that Michael Lloyd, he's pretty dang good at mixed. He's an athletic guy. He's got a lot of spin on his shots, and he played well when they needed him to. So congrats to them. And the other two teams in the 4 and the 5 spot are the Atlanta Bouncers and the Las Vegas Night Owls. So so it was a exciting weekend for some light shuffling in the 3 through 6 seeds for Premier, and lots of action in Challenger.
Yeah, so now we have what are the dates for that first round of the playoffs?
No idea. It's the weekend right before. So this upcoming weekend, actually. Yeah. Okay. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday upcoming right before Worlds. And remember, also in these playoff matchups, Robert, it's 2 out of 3 full matches against an opponent.
What do you mean?
So it's you don't just play a team once. So you play a team 2 out of 3 full matches. Yes.
Oh, sick. So, that's great. I like that. I like that a lot. That's way better because then it just removes like the unpredictability, like especially after a long season. You know, we talk about like MLB, which you follow a lot. You have like that one game play in, and it's just so brutal. And then you have like best of 3. It's just after especially after baseball, 162 game season, and it comes down to that
to one.
So I like the best of 3. I think that's great. Is it?
Yeah. So you got to beat a team twice.
Is it played same day? Is it played different days? How's that work?
I believe it is. That's a fantastic question. I don't believe it is played the same day. So
I like it though, because then you can see I
think it's Friday, Saturday for sure, because you have to play 2, and then if you go to the 3rd, it's Sunday. I think that is how it is. Okay. But I should know, and I'm not 100%.
But that's great. I like that a lot because then you can change lineup based on what worked, what didn't in that first round, and you get to see that stuff and see how it changes the dynamics of it versus just having one game and then on to the next round. So that's fun. I'm excited to watch that. That'll be cool.
Yeah, gender is gender, but you can play a different team in mixed or possibly switch your mixed partnerships. Some teams are, I am sure, not going to do that, but some teams have the flexibility to switch the mixed partnership. So it's a whole different thing given the matchup. So I am a big fan of the 2 out of 3 as well, and just a little less variance.
When do opponents get selected? Like when does the 3
I think it's like today or tomorrow. It's very quick. Yeah, it's very quick, which, 1 week it should be. So you got to watch some film, do some game planning, and kind of to figure that out. You need to know your opponent.
What I would have liked more is like morning of.
Yeah, right. That's kind of, that would be kind of fun too, actually.
Talk about advantage, right? It's like you have to prepare for every scenario if you're the one, if you're 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. And we've been in this back and forth, like, does each event need to have a winner? Well, this is the point, the playoffs. This is the what
point it's all about.
Of all of those 23 matches where some of them got lost in translation a little bit in the heart of the season. It's all real now. And I think that'll show.
Remember how badly you guys started? Think about that.
Yeah, 1 and 5.
You guys started terribly.
Yeah, 1 and 5.
You persevered and grabbed that 2 seed. So but that's the fun part of storylines throughout the year is like thinking back on all of that and the journey getting here and how much lineups have changed. Like it does feel like in Premier that it got a little like
it was too bad.
You just see Ryan Fu and just really random people just getting added to teams.
Scarpa,
guys that weren't even drafted that are now just because they're available and traveling and they're there that will just throw them in a Premier team. Like it's just that I don't like that a ton.
Right, but, and I think we saw that this last weekend because there wasn't
eliminated teams.
Right. Yeah. So like James pulled out, Ryan Fu came in. and there was another one, CJ Klinger. I don't know if he was under the weather. I have no idea about any of that, but Scarpa filled in for him. So it's unfortunate because there could have been a lot of shuffling and a lot of possibilities because, of course, given the format, but it just wasn't the case. It just didn't work out that way for Premier. So I think it was unfortunate that last event didn't have more action and more ramifications for winning and losing.
But I do think this is like case in point on why these teams should have more than 2 players gender. I think you should have 3 and 3. Like, so if somebody's sick, somebody's under the weather, you're not pulling a random person that's played on 4 different teams this year as a sub, right? Like,
and that was talked about.
Yeah, it should be.
So
that's a big problem.
It was talked about.
So I think having, who cares if that third person's not playing all the time, or maybe they're really good at mixed, or maybe they're really good at gender, maybe they're a specialist on the right side or a specialist whatever singles. There should be that aspect of it, and I think as the third player, like, I think that person's still going to be like pretty pumped even if they're not playing every match. Like, there might be some events where the number 2 player, the number 1 player can't make it. Then, you're not having to pull from some random player pool. You have like your actual teammate that's filling in. So that, I think to me, that's a must.
Right. The game on court is not solved, and the format is not solved either. So there's evolving. But I agree with you. I think it would have been a cool dynamic to have some more extended rosters, and we'll see what happens when the powers that be make these decisions for 2025. I have no doubt it won't be exactly the same. There will be some tweaks here and there. Are they going to be major? Are they going to be minor? I do not know.
Adam, tell me this. So you guys, as the top 2 seeds, automatically are promoted to Premier?
That is correct. So how it works here is the top 2 seeds are automatically for Challenger, and the 2 teams that come out of the quarterfinals. So 6 teams total. So of those 6 teams, 4 get automatic promotion, and the 2 teams that lose first round do not get promoted. So that's how it is. 4 of the 6, and so that's such a huge deal.
4 of the 6 get promoted. Do any of the Premier teams get relegated?
No. So there has been no
there's
talk
going
of that.
There's going to be 16 Premier teams and 6 Challenger teams.
Now I don't know if they're going to add a team. And also there's that you can only, as a Premier, so there is going to be some form of player pool. So there will be some roster turnover. You can keep 3 out of 4 of your Premier team, but you don't necessarily have to. So if you decide you want to just a clean slate, or you want to drop 1 or 2 or 3 or all of your players, you were able to do so. So there is going to be, even if some of the teams decide to keep a lot of their players, meaning 3, there is going to be some roster turnover and a pretty chunky player pool to choose from. So it won't be a full-on draft, but it'll be a pretty extensive waiver wire process.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, be interesting with just 6 Challenger teams.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll just promote everyone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you guys got up to Premier without having to pay any money, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think the price ended up, I don't know what it was called, something fancy like a Dutch auction or something like that, and I think it was somewhere around $500K to automatically get that Premier bid for this 2024 season. So,
well, it sounds like Adam Stone probably deserves a little bonus.
Yeah, let's hope my boys are listening. Come on, I got this on the wall.
Come on, Timmy.
Rick Shan did hook it up after Vegas, so we went out to a very nice group of like 12 or 14, a couple. Jeannie Irakina filled in, her and her boyfriend, and some family and stuff like that. So we had a fantastic dinner at the Aria, and then Rick gets us our own craps table.
Okay.
And he gets a marker for $30K, and he plays with like 20,000 of it, and then gives every member of the Hard Eights $800 to gamble on the craps table with. And
that's pretty sick.
The first 2 rolls, I went pretty aggressive. My 800, I was down to 75. So after the first 2 rolls, and then it was my roll, and I rolled for like 45 minutes. So so everybody made money. Rick paid back his marker, won a bunch, and every single one of us ended up winning a good bit of money throughout.
What an epic night!
Yeah, we're just yelling, drinking some whatever it is,
super fun
tequila and water, and just having a good old time at 4 a.m. Like Eric Lang had a flight at like 7:30, and we're there at 3 or 4 a.m. So it was good times and good team bonding, especially after not having the Vegas that we wanted to. So, and I mean, what are the chances that everybody wins? I mean, that's rare. And we
not only that, but Miami crumbles, and you guys just go on right through.
Yeah, I mean, I thought going into, because the Chicago Slice could have crumbled and Miami could have crumbled. Those were our only shots. I would say going into the event, we are somewhere between like 10 and 12%. That was our chances of making the playoffs.
Wow.
So that was, I mean, roll the dice, baby. Roll the dice. The luck is on our side for sure.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the playoffs now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, I got to tell Prof, watch that kid. I got some scouting to do. So I'm going to be glued to the TV this weekend, checking it all out before I get to call the matches in Dallas for the PPA. So we got some action going on
weekend.
What's that?
It's Georgia, Florida, Jacksonville. Florida, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I'm looking at some tickets. I can't do I don't like a lot of people. I don't like being crowds.
That's an issue.
Big concerts, big. I don't like crowds. I like the Fever was fine because we had I like private stuff. We had courtside seats at the Fever game, so we had a courtside club which had its own little restaurant, its own bathrooms. I don't like being in the mix with thousands and tens of thousands of people.
Well, that makes sense. You're probably not going to go to the game then. Georgia, Florida, it's going to be complete chaos, I'm sure.
Right, unless we get some
the
sweets.
hookup. Yes.
Yeah.
You're a Georgia guy. Conyers, Georgia. That's
Conyers,
you.
GA. I hit up little known fact. Mr. Abraham Dinkin, Mr. Thomas Jefferson, Mr. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Eric Roddy himself was a volunteer assistant coach at the University of Georgia. So little known fact there. Yes. For the women's team, alongside our good buddy and probably the best pickleball player that does not play pickleball, Drake Bernstein, who is now the head women's coach at the University of Georgia. Big shout out to those guys. I was trying to get them to come down here for the game, and Roddy's got a wedding in Chattanooga. Drake is in charge of a women's tennis program now, so they're not going to make it. But always fun catching up. Our group chat, they're obsessed with some band named Goose, which is a jam band. It's like Fish or somebody or Grateful Dead. It's just they love that.
Hot Toddy Roddy. That's all he talks about is Miami football and Goose.
Miami Dolphins, dude.
That's it.
I just watch his Twitter feed for the Miami Dolphins. He's just yelling into the abyss, just disgusted. But yeah, so might try to go to the Georgia Florida game. We'll see.
All right, I gotcha. All right, hey Rob. We're kind of approaching that hour mark. Do we have a tip?
A tip, just the tip, just for a moment, just for today, just for right now.
Great movie. Great movie.
What do we think? Have you seen Bad Monkey, by the way, with Vince Vaughn?
No, I have not.
It's on Apple TV. It's pretty good.
I love Vince Vaughn. He's the man.
He plays one character basically. No, he plays the same character all the time.
Plays it well,
but he plays it so well. It's so good. I would never get tired of watching him. Run through return, Adam. This is a big deal. I always talk about there's a lot of things in pickleball that really irk me. But my biggest pet peeve when I'm teaching, especially when I watch amateurs, is when they do. And dude, it's in the pros now too, because the people are hitting serve so big. But it's not getting to the line for your fourth. It's my one. When I teach, I tell everybody it's my one non-negotiable in pickleball is you have to be at the fourth. You have to be at the line for your fourth. So you can only do that if you are moving through the return. There's not many times where I would say you want to be moving as you're hitting the ball in pickleball, but on the return, I'm absolutely okay with it because it will allow you to get in to the line. All your momentum's going forward. And the one thing I see people do wrong when they do this is, they start at the baseline, start as far back as you can. Start back. I usually start with my butt, literally on the fence.
Butt on the fence.
I move forward from there. But the key here is making sure you're not stopping, hitting, moving, because it's hard to get that engine revved up after you hit it. So when you do hit it, though, you have to shorten up your backswing. It has to be very, very compact, because if you have your same swing as you're moving through the ball as you typically do when you're standing stationary, you are going to hit it long. And that's what I saw a lot of when I was doing the instructional was running through the return, but keeping the same big backswing, and the ball was flying long every time. So you really have to get compact as you move through the return.
Yeah, no, I was a butt on the fence guy too, and I like to get nice and low, and so you're not just standing straight up running through the return. You're engaging your lower body. You were finding some form of balance and lower center of gravity when you're hitting through that shot. But I agree completely. And the thing is the more body momentum or the more use of your legs, the more simple the upper body and the actual swing needs to be. Like those pair together very well. So if you're a little more stationary, or you're just at the kitchen line, or whatever the case may be, having a little bit more stroke or a little bit more backswing makes sense. But when you're using the body, use the legs, use all of that, and keep it compact. So I agree completely. I do not think it's a stop and hit situation. We must get in there. And as you said, I was a butt against the fence guy, and I was always moving through. And that first volley, what are we talking? Fourth shot has to be on the kitchen line, and
has to be.
You have to just be so skilled and so competent if you're playing a good team and you are not hitting that first volley right on the kitchen line. If you are in the transition zone, whether you're hitting it with pace or you're trying to take pace off from that spot, let someone else do that. Let the top 1% of the top 1% deal with that type of shot. You get your butt to the line and hit that first volley where you need to be.
Yeah, and even on that note, there's a couple things that tie in here. One is, if you're the partner, we've talked about this before, protect the returner. Ideally, the return's going to go, depending on their switching. But point being is, if your partner's returning and you see that somebody has a big serve, scooch over and look for that fourth, so they don't have to worry about it and stress about it too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing, Adam, the slice return's making a comeback.
The slice return? Yeah, no, I agree.
Return. There's a lot of talk for a while about you shouldn't slice because people can just rip forehands and roll the ball and use the spin that's already created on the top spin. But what I'm seeing, Adam, is if you're able to slice it and really knife it and keep it down, you're going to get so many errors on those thirds. People don't know, should I drop it? Should I rip it? And if it's staying low, this is kind of condition based too, right? If the ball is playing fast and it's skidding and the course are quick and the ball's kind of slick and it's staying low, slice it, knife it, keep it low. That ball is hard to hit. It's you'll miss drives with it. So slicing's okay. Just make sure it's a knife.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, there's probably a handful of players that just handle it extremely well. So you have to be conscious of that certain kind of elite group that is going to handle it well. But I mean, we're talking Max Purple Jesus Manthal, 2-handed backhand slice, knifing it. Mari Humberg, just knife,
Forehand,
slicing that
backhand,
up.
doesn't matter.
Yes,
Yep.
both sides. I know I'm unbelievably irrelevant, and we're talking 3 years ago, but I was a slice guy. I was a forehand slice guy. So I think there are some unseen benefits. Just know if you're playing a shake and bake team and that certain player, their technique pairs well with handling the slice and their opponent is very active up there, then you might have to switch it up. And actually in our matchups with the SoCal Hard 8s, there's been a time or two where Max has had to hit through his returns because we were getting into some trouble. But he's also had some really great matchups where, whether it was mixed or gender, where he got 3, 4, 5 freebies off of that slice return. So
100%.
Make sure you know the situation, but there's not a lot of hard no's in pickleball, and I don't think a slice return is one of those.
Agreed. What a tip. We from not having anything to just really just pulling it together.
From nothing to something. That's what we do here, Robert. All right, buddy. Great episode. Solid stuff. Apologize for last week viewers. Rob was a hot commodity up in Coeur d'Alene, as he mentioned. Hopefully we'll get to see that commercial or some of those instructional videos that you were working so diligently to come up with. That's what you do.
I'm here to serve.
Diligent worker.
Here to serve.
Diligent worker.
Adios.